What's going on YouTube? Cheapmaster55 here, coming at you with a new deck profile on my Lightsworn build. This is currently June 2015. We're going to get a new ban list soon, but I thought I'd go through this build before it comes out, because I'm going to go over this build. I have a lot of fun with this deck. It's probably one of my most favorite go-to for fun decks. Although it's not too fun to play against, I'm not going to lie. Getting sacked can be pretty rage-inducing. This deck can be really powerful, and it can compete with a lot of meta decks if you get lucky enough. So that's the only thing that sucks about this deck, is that without the Dragon Rulers, it's a lot less consistent. It requires a lot more luck to pull off the big plays with big pushes that you'd normally be able to make with the Dragon Rulers included. But it's still a very solid deck, and with the addition of another Charge of the Light Brigade, that just helped immensely. In the OCG, they have Minerva, the new Exceed monster, which is obscenely broken. Well, alright, not broken, but obscenely good, and it's amazing. So I hope we get that card in the TCG soon enough, maybe as an import in the next set, something like that. It'd be really cool to get. It's a really powerful card. If you haven't seen it yet, I suggest you look it up. And also we have the trap card that searches out JD, which will make Eclipse Wyvern kind of obsolete. But that's everything, guys. So without further ado, let's get into the profile for June 2015 Lightsworns. In my opinion, this is pretty solid. So of course, let's get started. Start things off with 3 Raiden. Best card for milling during your main phase 1. Just get the graveyard filled up as fast as possible. Being a level 4 tuner is really awesome, and 1700 or 19 if he hits a Lightsworn, all the better. So really powerful. Also helps you make your Michael plays, so very good. 3 Lumina for recursion, self-explanatory, super powerful. Ditch 1, the special one, and it can special what it ditched because it doesn't target immediately, so that's cool. Lumina, super powerful card. 2 Lila. Lila is just too good. I mean, breaking back row. We don't main MST in this build, so this is great for your back row removal. Searchable, of course. I go 2 Felice and 2 Wolf for the luck sack cards. You hit these, they get special. This can be hit off spell or trap effects, while this can only be hit off monster effects. So that's a bit of a downside for Felice, but they're both very powerful. This is just a 2100 stick and another name, and this is has the ability to pop cards, and it's also a tuner, so that's really cool. And that's why I play for the luck sacks. And for the last name, I run 1 Minerva. You might notice we're playing only 5 names in the main deck, but Michael's another name in the extra, so that's a total of 6. It's still on the lower side, but I kind of swapped out the less consistent Lightsworn cards that just aren't as good, just for more of the power ones in higher numbers, and to make room for other good cards in the engine. So that's everything for the Lightsworn names. Moving on, run the triple Eclipse Wyvern. You kind of have to, because this is your main way of searching JD. You hit this, and we have run lots of ways to banish it. So targets for it include triple Judgment Dragon. Gotta run Judgment Dragon. I mean, it's the main boss monster of the deck. I don't need to explain anything of that. Dark Arm Dragon. It's another search target for Eclipse Wyvern. Easy to set up. We run plenty of dark targets, and when you pull it off, it's almost as devastating as Judgment Dragon in the way that it can just blow away your opponent's board. To banish the Eclipse Wyverns, we run triple Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. This is our main go-to guy. His effect's cool. Just banish a light from grave to special him. It doesn't have to be Eclipse Wyvern, but that's your preferable option, so you get those JDs to hand. I also run 1 White Dragon to be a searchable target once Collapse Serpent hits the graveyard. It's really powerful, these 2. I cut this down to 1 though, just because there's less dark targets than there are lights, and you don't really need to see this as often because you just want to get it searched off Collapse Serpent. That's when you want to see it, because usually at that point you'll have the Collapse Serpent engraved to banish to summon it. So that's your ideal thing. You only need the 1. It's kind of like the same logic when they played the opposite number, 3 Wyvern Buster, 1 Collapse Serpent and Shadalls. So it's kind of like that same logic. Moving on to things that can banish the Wyverns, we got double Chaos Sorcerer, just a super powerful card. I can't see why not run it. I saw a build this morning that didn't run. I was like, oh, that's a little iffy, because I think Chaos Sorcerer is a very powerful boss monster. Totally worth running. Then run the 1 BLS. It's the best boss monster in the deck besides JD. So that's that, and for the last dark cards, the dark part of the engine, final cards we play, triple Curry Bandit. This is iffy. People are going to probably call me out on this, because this card is a lot less good than it used to be, just because it's slow. And I agree with the fact that, yes, it is slow, but it compensates for that in the fact that it can get you to your Soul Charge, which is immensely powerful, and it's also just fills the grave with names. And I usually opt to go first with this deck, so seeing this, or seeing a Solar Recharge, or just seeing a Raiden can fill up the grave as fast as possible. These are the best cards to do it, and this can net you a card that you would have hit. So that's something I think is really powerful. And for the last 2 darks, I played 2 Necro Gardener, because I do want to see a little protection. Although it's dead against Cleafort, against Necros, and against Burning Abyss, it does give you a bit of protection that you sometimes really need. So I feel like it's fine to run the 2 Necro Gardener. I might cut it for Gores in the future, but right now I'm liking the Necro Gardener because I do like filling up the grave fast, and it works from the grave while Gores has to be in your hand. So that's everything for the monster lineup. Moving on to the spells, triple Soul Recharge. Self-explanatory, probably the best draw power card for any archetype. Double Charge, it's at 2, gotta run 2. The one Slygeki, it's too good not to play. Out to the Jin, so, you know, kind of necessary. One Reincarnation, this can be grabbed off Curry Bandit, and it's good because you can get back BLS's, Chaos Sorcerers, or Judgment Dragons that you may have accidentally milled. And then we got Soul Charge. This is probably the biggest power card of the deck because when it was at 3, this deck was probably... I'm going to go back a little bit when Lightsworn Rulers were one of the best decks. It was Lightsworn Rulers, Mermails. That was after Soul Charge came out at 3. This is the card that made it. You can't not run this card. It's too good in the deck, and it can be grabbed off Curry Bandit, so I really love it. That's everything with the spells. For the trap lineup, just run the 2 Breakthrough Skills. It's amazing, good effect negation, and since it works in the grave, it's really powerful. So that's everything for the main board. I'll move on to the extra real quick. Got some cool stuff in here, but there are 1 or 2 cards I'd like to add in. So I'll just start things off with the one Michael. I do want to run 2 of this, so that's just something right off the bat. I want to pick up a second and run a second copy of Michael. But it's a very powerful card, and there's no reason not to run it. And it's another name for JD. One BL, what am I saying? 1 Black Rose Dragon, just blowing up the board when JD can't. 1 Yazi, can't be targeted, it's a good card. 1 YuGiOh Guardian, because it's 2800, and that's crazy for level 6. 1 Leo, that's also really powerful. 3100, can't be targeted. Not being targeted is pretty damn good effect. 1 Stardust Dragon, stop the destruction, just good card in general. And 1 Crimson Blader. Swing over a Cleafort monster, and your opponent just can't. Does this have to send it to the grave? Yeah, it has to send it to the grave. I was lying about that. But swing over a Necros monster. They can't bring out their big guys, which is pretty cool. They can't trish you. Yeah, it's not as good as it used to be. Not as good when you played against Dragon Rulers with it. But it's still a fun card. It's still really powerful. So if you see it, and you need to go into it against a matchup, like a certain matchup, it's good to have. For rank 3s, going 1 Alucard, 1 Leviair, just the 2 best. You could run a Dante in here. I see it as unnecessary. I mean, yes, it does give you more mills, and it's 2500, which is nothing to scoff at, but I don't know, I'm iffy on it. Leave Dante for Burning Abyss, in my opinion. But those are for the 3s, and for the 4s, run a fair amount of 4s in the form of Dweller, Cowboy, 101, Exciton, Castel, and for the last card, the 1 Lavallo Chain, just to dump the stuff you need. So that's everything for the deck, guys. Please just give me a like. Let me know what you think of the build in the comments down below. I really do love this deck. If you plan on giving it a try during this format, I highly suggest it because you can still...